The Celtic Twilight by William Butler Yeats. Section 16. Enchanted Woods. Read by Luna Pierson. Part 1. Last summer, whenever I had finished my day's work, I used to go wandering in certain roomy woods, and there I would often meet an old countryman, and talk to him about his work and about the woods, and once or twice a friend came with me to whom he would open his heart more readily than to me. He had spent all his life lopping away the wych-elm and the hazel, and the privet and the hornbeam from the paths, and had thought much about the natural and supernatural creatures of the wood. He has heard the hedgehog, Grain Odge, he calls him, grunting like a Christian, and is certain that he steals apples by rolling about under an apple tree, until there is an apple sticking to every quill. He is certain, too, that the cats, of whom there are many in the woods, have a language of their own, some kind of old Irish. He says, cats were serpents, and they were made into cats at the time of some great change in the world. That is why they are hard to kill, and why it is dangerous to meddle with them. If you annoy a cat, it might claw or bite you in a way that would put poison in you, and that would be the serpent's tooth. Sometimes he thinks they change into wild cats, and then a nail grows on the end of their tails. But these wild cats are not the same as the marten cats, who have been always in the woods. The foxes were once tame, as the cats are now, but they ran away and became wild. He talks of all wild creatures, except squirrels, whom he hates, with what seems an affectionate interest, though at times his eyes will twinkle with pleasure as he remembers how he made hedgehogs unroll themselves when he was a boy, by putting a wisp of burning straw under them. I am not certain that he distinguishes between the natural and the supernatural very clearly. He told me the other day that foxes and cats like, above all, to be in the fords and lisses after nightfall, and he will certainly pass from some story about a fox to a story about a spirit with less change of voice than when he is going to speak about a marten cat, a rare beast nowadays. Many years ago he used to work in the garden, and once they put him to sleep in a garden house where there was a loft full of apples, and all night he could hear people rattling plates and knives and forks over his head in the loft. Once, at any rate, he has seen an unearthly sight in the woods. He says, one time I was out cutting timber over an inchy, and about 8 o'clock one morning, when I got there, I saw a girl picking nuts with her hair hanging down over her shoulders, brown hair, and she had a good clean face, and she was tall, and nothing on her head, and her dress no way gaudy, but simple, and when she felt me coming she gathered herself up, and was gone as if the earth had swallowed her up. And I followed her and looked for her, but I never could see her again from that day to this, never again. He used the word clean, as we would use words like fresh or comely. Others, too, have seen spirits in the enchanted woods. A labourer told us of what a friend of his had seen in a part of the woods that is called Shanwalla, from some old village that was before the weed. He said, one evening I parted from Lawrence Mangan in the yard, and he went away through the path in Shanwalla and bid me good night. And 2 hours after, there he was back again in the yard, and bid me light a candle that was in the stable. And he told me that when he got into Shanwalla, a little fellow about as high as his knee, but having a head as big as a man's body, came beside him, and led him out of the path and round about, and at last it brought him to the lime kiln, and then it vanished and left him. A woman told me of a sight that she and others had seen by a certain deep pool in the river. She said, I came over the stile from the chapel, and others along with me, and a great blast of wind came, and 2 trees were bent, and broken, and fell into the river, and the splash of water out of it went up to the skies. And those that were with me saw many figures, but myself I only saw one, sitting there by the bank where the trees fell. Dark clothes he had on, and he was headless. A man told me that one day, when he was a boy, he and another boy went to catch a horse in a certain field, full of boulders and bushes of hazel and creeping juniper and rock roses, that is where the lakeside is for a little clear of the woods. He said to the boy that was with him, I bet a button that if I fling a pebble onto that bush it will stay on it, meaning that the bush was so matted the pebble would not be able to go through it. So he took up a pebble of cow dung, and as soon as it hit the bush there came out of it the most beautiful music that ever was heard. They ran away, and when they had gone about 200 yards, they looked back and saw a woman dressed in white, walking round and round the bush. First it had the form of a woman, and then of a man, and it was going round the bush.